So as you can see here, this is the power jack. As you can see, this is one of the most failure that you can encounter in the laptops. Okay, as you can see here, the back of the power jack, we have two terminals, negative and positive terminal. Okay, so as you can see, always near to the power jack you will find some components, the protection components, like a fuse, for example. Okay, as you can see, this is the fuse here. Okay, so and switches. Okay, so always near to the power jack you will find protection components. Okay, so the back of the power jack, or in the other side, here we have the terminals or pins. You should always check the soldering. The soldering should be good. Okay, if there is a dry in any pin or terminal, you should make another solder. Okay, so as I told to you, the power jack is among the common faults of failed laptops. So as you can see, to make a new solder, you can just use the soldering iron and the solder, okay, to make a good contact. So here, as you can see, this is another motherboard, but this time the power jack is connected to a cable. As you can see, it's not connected to the motherboard directly. As you can see, here we have the connector instead of the power jack. Okay, so as you can see, this is the power jack. Okay, as you can see, here we have two terminals, the positive, and in the sides, the negative terminal. Here we have the cable. So for this kind of power jack, you should check the cable. Okay, using the multimeter, you can check the continuity of these cables. As you can see, two red cables and two black cables. So the black cables for the ground, and the red cables, of course, for the 19 volts or 20 volts, in accordance with the type of the laptop. So as you can see, this is the first pin here. Always the first pin is marked with a triangle. So here we have switches, as you can see, two switches. Okay, and near always to the power jack or to power jack connector, you will find a protection components. This is another motherboard where we have the same working principle. This is a power jack that is connected to a cable. Okay, the same working principle. To check this kind of power jack, you should check the power jack itself and the cables or the extension. Here we have two red wires and two black wires for ground. So for this kind of connector, it contains 5 terminals, but just 4 terminals and are worked, as you can see. Okay, 2 terminals are connected to the black wires and 2 other terminals are connected to the red wires, but the middle terminal is not used, as you can see, not connected. So if you can understand one motherboard, you can repair and understand any other motherboard, because the working principle in the laptop motherboards is the same. Okay, so here we have another motherboard. Of course, I will show you many motherboards in order to go deeper into understanding the motherboards. Here we have a power jack for this motherboard. This is an old motherboard. Okay, here as you can see, we have the positive terminal connected to the motherboard, as you can see. So in the other side, as you can see, we have the terminals. Okay, you should always check the soldering or the solder state. If you find a dry in any terminal, you should apply a new solder. Okay, of course, using the soldering iron. So for this power jack, it seems that it is good, but basically this power jack for this motherboard is bad. Okay, so as you can see, the switch, always you will find the switch near to the power jack, the switch or the MOSFET, okay, that let the power to pass to the whole motherboard. So as you can see, for this power jack, it is burned out, as you can see in the picture. That's why I told you this is a bad power jack. It is a burned power jack. So the power jack is one of the most common faults in the laptop. You should always check the power jacks, especially when you get a dead laptop. You should check the power jack first. Okay, of course, after the adapter,